Make sure y'all tap in for Wind Down Sundays, Sunday, March 20th at 6 p.m.
Killing us with impunity, enough is enough. George Floyd got murdered on TV for the world to see, so we took it right back.
Mr. Get right or get left in the building. Make sure y'all
Any
tune.
means, the riding and the looting is the only thing we see, so it seems that racism don't exist, but we keep got the data says a little different. The fuck am I missing? Your ancestors on some generational pimping, giving us food instead of letting us fishing. Symbolic wins never been enough. It's just player like what up, yo? All scan folk, ain't can folk. All about the business with the lick read. I don't entertain sales, please address me. They don't self-hate them, how to less eat. Building up a franchise, white tee. Generational wealth is what it be. South for the trade and it's VAMD. Dropped a couple pounds, but I'm sitting heavy. Up and down the track, big body Chevy. Yeah, they sleep, but I don't only feel impact, emotional. Well, I'm the competition countable. Y'all sprite remix, I'm the big bro. Well, I'ma put you on notice, man. Get your head down the road from the get-go. Sideline watching, sideline jobbing. Niggas gon' hate while my beats stay knocking. Get it how you live, hustling never been a hobby. Know how to go home, quitting ain't an option. I'm staying focused on my pad. I'm supporting meal, let me up right back. Lyrical food for your soul. Got the alkaline flow, get your body in control. Holla at a player like what up, though? All scan folk, ain't can folk, yeah. All about the business with the lick read. I don't entertain subs, please address me. They don't self-hate them, holla, let's eat. Building them a franchise, white tee. Generational wealth is what it be. South for the trade and it's VAMD. 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 Yes, sir. We have one up black Mr. Get right, get left. Solid 301 music. VAMD entertainment. That's what it is. Great stone in the building. Yes, sir. You already know what it is. Down the road, boys. Tito, what up,
Welcome to the DMVz Vibe Podcast. I am Miss Pink, and as y'all can see, I am today solo. Definitely want to send positive love, light, and energy to my co-host Fearless. She is not with us today, but she will be back with us next week. We do have a special guest in the building. The song you just heard was definitely by our special guest. It was called Substance by none other than Mr. Get Right or Get Left, who's right here in the building with us from South of 301 Music. Thank you for joining us.
What up? Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So we're going to jump right in. I want you to just give us a background about who you are as an artist, how long you've been making music, and where you're from.
Well, I've been making music, I probably would say like 20 years. I've been serious about it about 10. I'm originally from King George, Virginia. Second home is Southern Maryland area. Play the water off. Um, right now, currently, I have an album out called South of the Tray Into My Experience with some features from Tito Starr, Black Dorsey, um, Rock Diesel, who else? Biasis. Music wise, also, I've played in several bands in the Southern Maryland area. I'm currently in a band called Choice Band Reloaded. I got my Congo player TY in here with me now. Um, so yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, Choice Band Reloaded. I have a live band called South of the Tray, and like I said, I currently have an album out now called an album out now called South of the Tray, and also have a live band called South of the Tray. Uh, Unplugged and unfiltered. My bad. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, what made you want to start making music?
I just been loving music since I was young, stealing my brother's tapes, and you know, growing up listening to Go-Go tapes, not CDs before. This was before CDs came out. This was tapes back, in the VA days when I was living in VA. My big homie Clip from Faces You Know band. Shout out Big Clip. Clip used to hook me up with all the tapes, everything that new that came out. So I actually started one. I wanted to be a Congo player, but I ended up on the front line. So
Can you play any instrument?
I can play the cowbell, shake the tambourine. I can fiddle around with the congos, but I ain't no congo player. That was short lived. I leave that to professionals like my congo player Ty.
Trust me, I understand. I love the drums, but if you want me to do something complex, then yeah, you just skip over me and pick somebody else.
Right.
How would you describe your music?
Hip hop. I would definitely say hip hop, and kind of I would say Scarface, Nas, Most Def, Talib, Kweli type of hip hop.
Are those artists who influence you?
Yeah, definitely.
If you had to pick like your top 5 artists, go-to artists, whether they're dead or alive, who would be in your top 5?
And it's just off the fly. Every time I do this, I kind of my list be changing because it be for different reasons. But off the fly, I would say Scarface, Redman, Snoop. Scarface, Redman, Snoop. I would have to say Nas. I would throw Jay in there too.
Yeah.
It might change tomorrow, but definitely Scarface and Snoop. Definitely Scarface and Snoop.
Okay. When it comes to your creative process and writing, I know sometimes people just go in the booth and the inspiration come in. Then some people go and they're already ready to go. They just already have everything written and they're ready to go. So in your creative process, how is that work for you?
Probably a little bit of both. Depending on the vibe I get. But most of the time, to be honest with you, it's like certain people they'll go in the studio and they say, I want to make this type of record. For me, it's definitely coming with a vibe. So it depends on the beat. Like if I get a beat, this person might make this type of song. They might set out to make this type of song. But me, whatever the vibe I get from the beat, that's what I'll come up with. So I really don't have no particular way in a sense of I'm gonna make this type of song. So it's definitely the vibe.
We talk about it a lot up here, how music can have a lot of influence, and a lot of people use it as therapy. Um, so, would you say that music is your therapy? Is something that you do is more than is? It's like some people say this is my hobby, but it's also my job and my passion. And some people are like, no, I just do it in my free time.
Well, it definitely is therapy. Oh, my partner said, "Pop." See, I knew I was gonna forget. See, whenever somebody asks me that off the fly, so I gotta go back real quick. Pop definitely gotta be in that list. I'll take J off, put Pop on my list.
Yeah, I know. When I say top 5, people usually be crunching, trying to.
Yeah, I was
everybody
rushing. My partner said, "Take your time." It's definitely Pop, but what was the question again? My bad.
Oh, it's music being third.
Yeah, because I actually have a song called "My Heart Too Big," and it's a line in that song that I say, "Music is my therapy, keep me from insane. Get your umbrellas out, it's a slight chance of rain." So it's definitely my therapy. It's got me through some tough times.
What would you say has been your favorite song from your projects? If you could pick a favorite song, what would it be and why?
Um, I would have to say, I don't think I have a favorite song, to be honest with you. Like I like certain songs for certain reasons. You know, picking a favorite song is kind of like having a favorite child.
I mean, I think parents do have a favorite child. They just don't say it. Like, y'all all my babies, but that's who I call first.
Right. But if I had to, I got I got 3 songs that I would say would be in those if I had to pick. One of them is called "An Angel Standing By," and that was dedicated to my grandmother that passed away. And I have another song called "Marie," that was dedicated to my wife. And then I have another song called "Always Home," and that's basically kind of wrapping up my upbringing in 2 verses. You know, you can't get everything. It's hard to get everything in one song. So yeah, those 3: "Always Home," "Marie," and "Angel Standing By."
From listening to your music, I can definitely tell that to me, you definitely give like a West Coast feel where it's reminds me of someone who all their songs it kind of like tells a story, and it's not like how in today's music where a lot of these rappers they be all over the place,
Right.
or they rap about the same thing, and so it is refreshing to hear. You said you've been in music for over 20 years, so can you talk a little bit about your journey and how you got with Southwood 301 Music Group?
Well, from the beginning, like I said, I wanted to be a Congo player, but that didn't work out. So I kind of was on the sideline waiting my turn, you know. So I started, my first crack at music was in the band with this guy, a Congo player, Exclusion. It's a band called Exclusion from the Southern Maryland area that my Congo player and a couple of us started. So I started off in Exclusion playing the cowbell. I was third mic. I wasn't even the rapper. I was more so of the cowbell and hype man, you know, some hooks. And then I graduated from the third mic and went to the second mic. And then it went from there to what's that? Low Profile. That's another band that we had. What's the other band that we played in? Versatile. So like I've been around the bands more. So from me, like GoGo is my first love, but like me becoming an artist outside of the band, that kind of took a while, and GoGo helped mold that. So I definitely like GoGo is my love. Like I feel
like you can't be from here and not have your heart.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people that's actually from here that don't even really listen to GoGo. But
that's heartbreaking.
It is.
It's heartbreaking.
It definitely is. But for me, like that's my first love. Like I grew up being a junker maniac. Like JY was you couldn't tell me nothing. Then it went from JY to Backyard. And, you know, my third band was Northeast. So it's always been Junkyard, Backyard, Northeast. Now it's Backyard, Junkyard, Northeast.
Yeah, I've moved in like Backyard and Red Essence. But of course, my age will show it. I'm definitely a New Impressions fan.
I like New Impressions.
New Impressions.
Their Congo player is from around our way. Spook. Yeah.
And then another band. Shout out to the one band we have gone to a lot of their shows, and they've been a big support as well. So with GoGo being where you pretty much started, do you think that did it help now to where when you perform your songs and your solo artist, did it help with your anxiety before performing?
It definitely does. But the crazy thing about it is, I tell my wife all the time, it don't matter how many times I perform, I still get nervous. And I guess it's just going to be a thing. But like for the band, I get nervous. But once them sticks click, it's ball game. Can't be scared. Like I had a performance I think it was last month. I performed one of my songs at a pastor's 60th birthday, and like that's probably the most nervous I ever been. Because it's like, and I don't want to say it like in a mean way, but church folks are more different.
Yeah.
So
You never know what their boundary is.
Right. But I thought it was going to be a tough crowd, but they actually embraced me, and it was, they loved it. So the go-go definitely helps a lot because that's where I learned to perform. Like I studied people like in the go-go, like I studied Lil Benny. Lil Benny probably to me is probably the greatest go-go performer of all time. That's just my opinion. Like what he brought to the stage. I don't care what band he got up on stage with. He took them to the next level. So people like Benny, people like Los from Backyard, 32 from Northeast, those are people that I, grew up watching and admire. Like I take pieces, I take pieces from all of them and mix my own gumbo up.
So, how do you go about choosing who you want to work with in that process of narrowing down when it comes to producers, artists, whether they be local or throughout the world? How does your process go of when you do your part and you go, okay, I think it'd be okay for this person to be on this song, try and get this person. How do you go about selecting that process? Do you listen to other people's music and kind of be like, that'd be a good fit? Or you have a select list of people that you want to work
Um, Probably a little bit of both, but to be honest, it's like everything is a vibe for me. Like, cause I'm a fan first, so everybody that's on any of my projects, I'm a fan of their music. So like if I hear a beat and I come up with the concept, once I come up with the concept, I'm like, okay, I can hear so and so on this. Like I got a song called Chuck County Creep, and I was like, Tito Star got to be on the song, Black Dorsey got to be on the song. So it's a vibe at the end of the day. I got another song called What Up, and it's like a hip hop boom bap type of song, and Rock Diesel is an artist from the Southern Maryland area, and I was like, I gotta have him on here because it's everything is a vibe. Like I don't want to like hand pick because you could hand pick somebody for a song just because you mess with them or for whatever reason. But it might not, you know, it might be good. The gumbo might be good, but it might not have that certain zest to it or that spice. So it's a vibe for me.
um, as well as how do you go about like your artwork or for your music videos? Do
Mm-hmm.
you have your own creative content or is it a certain look that you're going for?
Um, yeah, it's definitely a certain look. Like for my album cover, my little cousin Akira did the album cover, and the name of the album is South of Detroit Into My Experience. So I kind of got everything from my upbringing to now kind of mixed up in there. You'll see different street signs from where I used to live at, different landmarks like restaurants and stuff like that from places I visited, stuff like that. So
Just so everybody can see it.
so yeah, my cousin does the artwork as well as my daughter. Um, so it's definitely. I look at it different. Like I try to when it comes to the videos, I try to be different because anybody can shoot a video, and most of them look the same these days.
Absolutely.
So I want my videos to have like a theatrical kind of feel to it, like a movie. Like you sit down, it ain't just sit down and turn it on, then the beat just come on, and before you know it's over with. I want you to kind of get adjusted and like feel like you're watching like a movie, like a short film. So shout out to Angle 45 Media. That's who did the Substance video, as well as the We Don't Need video, and he did the Boom Bap video. So that's Angle 45 Media, my partner Short Tay, formerly known as Headbanger Visuals.
Headbanger Visuals. And they're local, just because we like to spotlight all the
Oh yeah,
local people.
oh yeah, Tay from around the way. Yeah.
So how do you balance music amongst like your other obligations in daily life?
It's rough.
Look, you see, I looked over to the corner and see if she's gonna have a reaction.
It's rough. Like sometimes I come in from work, and I leave right back out the door. Sometimes I don't even get to come home first. Last week I had to handle some business at a venue that I'm about to, my live band that's going to be performing there in June. So I left from work, went straight there, and then went straight to band rehearsal. So it's a balance that but my family understand. They know what I'm trying to achieve, so they cool with it. And they very supportive with it.
And I think that makes it a lot easier when you have supportive people around you that understand and everybody's on the same page. It definitely helps that balance, the understanding of balance a lot easier.
Definitely.
If we come to the time now where social media is like the biggest marketing tool, do you think it has significantly increased and helped artists be able to get their music out, or do you think it has kind of tainted?
I think a little bit of both, because with social media it helps get it there quicker. Like you really don't, for an artist, you really don't have to use a label. It's more work, but you'll reap more of the benefits. A label, you might be paying them back for the next 10 years, versus the artist, you can immediately start creating revenue from whatever you got going on, your content. But the flip side to it is music is like, it's like microwavable. Anybody can do it and get it right to you, and there's no social commentary no more. Like when I was growing up, we went and bought an album, Scarface, UGK, like we get the album, I'm going through the credits, I want to see who made the beat, all of that. Now it ain't really, it's none of that. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna record, I'm gonna drop it tonight, and it's gonna be out tomorrow or the next 2 days. So it ain't really no anticipation for it. That's what kind of takes away from the music in itself.
Yes, I definitely agree. I feel like, especially when it comes to a lot of artists in this area, they don't really invest in themselves to where they're marketing outside of social media. And so you don't get to really know them. You just kind of get thrown into either the song may do great or the song might flop. But I feel like a lot of them have similar sounds, and it's nothing that a lot of artists aren't doing something to stand out.
Right.
They're doing a lot of it is just very repeated, and social media has become a place where everybody is highly invested. And I think it could be a good place for promo, but you have to. I feel like as local artists here, you really have to be like out in the community and pushing yourself. You can't just sit it on the shelf and hope somebody like you.
Nah. And for me, it's crazy that you bring that up, because for me, before I put out this last project, that was kind of me in a sense. Like I did music and I was like active, but I wasn't consistent in doing certain stuff. So like you got to be out shaking hands and kissing babies. You know what I'm saying? You like you said, like you could put a song up and people actually, because you can tell, like on Facebook, you can tell when people look at your stuff. You can see the views, but they might not interact with it. You know what I'm saying? But they watch it. But it's funny because like until you in their circle or frequent the places they go and you actually meet them face to face, they really not going to support you. That's what I've noticed. But once you out and about, and the more they see you working, that's when they'll start to support you. Stuff like that.
Yeah, like social media has become a place where a lot of people don't want to stand up and say that they like a certain artist or they like that music until it becomes more popular.
Right.
Instead of just, I need y'all to think for yourself. Just because your friend don't like it, don't mean that you can't.
Right. I've had people tell me in my inbox, hey man, you cranking, you jamming. I'm like, but you gonna post my music on your page though. But it's cool. You listen to it. They'll catch on. Your folks will catch on sooner or later.
Yeah, that's why we definitely tell people that it is nothing wrong with supporting whoever you like, whoever music, whatever product it is. Nothing wrong with support. Support is free.
Yeah.
It don't cost you nothing
At all.
to repost. Support is free. Outside of music, what are things that you would call like your decompression time?
Well, outside of music and work, every weekend I'm just about on the soccer field. My daughter plays soccer, so that's why I'm like next week we going to Baltimore. Yeah, we'll be in Baltimore Saturday and Sunday. So that's probably it. Or just watching movies, hanging with her, just chilling. My cracking jokes with my daughter. I went out yesterday with my daughter, little daddy-daughter time. Took her out to breakfast.
Man, it was perfect weather yesterday. I don't know what's going outside today.
Yeah,
it was perfect.
The weather DMV is bipolar.
It started making me miss Texas a little bit. Like I should have just waited.
You used to live in Texas? That's where you from?
I'm from here, but I lived in Texas for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know who told me to come back to the DMV. I be thinking every time it's wintertime here, I be thinking.
I got family in Houston.
And Houston is actually where I want to move to. I lived in Austin when I was.
Okay.
But getting to travel all through Texas was a lot of fun. Houston's probably one of my favorite places. The weather's just different in Houston.
Right.
Like Austin, you still get a little mix because it gets a little bit colder there, but you need a coat. But Houston was definitely my fun place.
You a football fan?
I am. I'm not a Cowboys fan.
But you had to go to the stadium though, right?
I did not. I declined.
Come on now.
If I drive past that, I might throw some trash at this.
Oh my God.
I'm an Eagles fan. Sorry, guys.
Oh, well, at least you ain't the other guys fan.
So I couldn't be a Commander fan. I just got used to saying that. I couldn't be that. So before we get into the next two songs, can you tell us a little bit about how your process in making No More Trouble and Dat Vybe, and just explain a little bit about what the song's whole message was?
Well, No More Trouble, it was just like, that's what I got from the song when I heard the beat. That's what I got. No More Trouble is basically about the injustices of the world. I also have a few family members myself that passed away from police injustices. So that's the type of vibe I got from it, with the Bob Marley sample, the No More Trouble sample on it, and I just created from then, and the rest is history for that. And that vibe was pretty much the same. Like, I didn't have when I heard the beat, I didn't say, hey, I want to make this type of record for it. It just was a vibe, and that vibe I wrote, it's about my wife. So that's basically what it is. It's like everything I love about her. Like it's a line in the song said, I love that attitude, but I hate that attitude. It's just like everything about her is that vibe.
Well, we definitely celebrate Black love. I think it should be celebrated a lot more, because I feel like a lot of times when it comes to hip hop and rap music, Black women are painted a certain way and only have one type of image. So it is definitely always a good feeling and vibe to be able to hear that. So we're going to get into these two songs. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. When we come back from the break, I am going to ask you some sidebar questions. We usually play a little game with our guests.
That's cool.
Name it after the people who fought for Appalachian City. If you want to name it after somebody, honor the right people, the people who are on the right side of history. But it's your ancestors that the school is named after. So you holding on to your heritage. But we built this joint for free, and we done begging you to do what's right.
FO, double X, Mr.Get right to get left, South 301 Music, VA, TMD Entertainment. Drop. Fit with me, baby, time is up. Enough is enough. TV for the world to see. Nothing by any means. Racism don't exist, but we ancestors on it's never been enough. Our ancestors built it up. The old field goes around, comes around. No more trouble. Sometimes you gotta sit back and look at it from a different point of view. Cause I ain't gonna be the one to point fingers, but you know what it is. Drop. The troubles with your action. Glass door. You try to put ourselves up by the house. Every time we do Tulsa, Oklahoma. Together we so much. Beyond Frank Dorsey, Ernest Marley, Johnny Lives, Black Lives, the ones who call serve and protect. Case by base, they're always no more trouble. Focus on my grind. She got me open, I'm focused on my grind. Tell me how you seen her. Oh man, tell me how you seen her. I can smell her before she walked through. Like to the scene before she got me fiending. Check out what she won't do. Like a walk through. Slim thing got a brother wide. Like ain't nothing that a player won't do. Man, straight to the point. She got it going on. When I get her, I'm a spoiler cause I know she's wrong. She got features like an African thing. A whole lot of melanin. Late niggas early morning got me celebrating just like the better man. That's why she got me open and focused on my grind. Focus on my grind. She got me open, just when I'm focused. She got my levels up, just hold it, I don't blow this. Yeah, I love that attitude, but I hate that attitude. We got to find a way before we reach the interlude. So it's way my way. On a highway, higher than the valley trees. Focus on my grind.
Hey, hey, y'all know the fuck going on. Look. Early morning, waking, baking, fucking bitches on a daily basis. Just texting, no conversation. Give a dick and baby, no relation. Gotta keep it basic. Jug when I'm modulating. Nigga, work is my occupation. Never obligated, listen to the hatred. Just insert the sticking, cause you know they hate. Early morning, waking, baking, fucking bitches on a daily basis. Just texting, no conversation. Give a D and baby, no relation. Gotta keep it basic. Jug modulating. Work, occupation. Never obligated, listen to the hatred. Just insert the sticking, cause you know they hate. Early morning, waking, baking.
Okay, again, that was Dat Vybe and No More Trouble by our special guest in the building right here with us, Mr. Get Right or Get Left. So, as I stated, we always play a game with our guests, and it's just so that the viewers can get to know you a little bit better. So, we just ask a question. So, the first question is, what is your favorite song from the past year? It could be one of yours. It could be from another artist.
For the past year, it's tough. That's tough. I'm gonna say for the past year, I don't know. It's been a lot of songs that I like in the past year. I'm just gonna make it easy on myself. And I'm gonna say, uh, I'm gonna say, Substance. I'm gonna say Substance. My song.
Okay. What's something new you'd like to try this year?
Something new. Um, I wouldn't necessarily say new, but I definitely want to get out more and network more. I think I don't network enough. So I definitely need to do more of that. And try to do more songs outside of the rap genre of music.
Crossover music.
Yeah, I actually got a feature with a country artist. Goes by the name of Mike Gill called Call. So I want to do more of that.
I think becoming or doing music that crosses over makes you more versatile and opens you up to so many different waves of people. And like it's not as simple as people portray it to be, because you have to be open to other types of music before you even can really make a song that can reach other audiences.
Definitely do.
What are you most proud of accomplishing in the past year?
In the past year of accomplishment of myself, I would have to say dropping my album and starting a new job. That's what I would have to say.
Those are big accomplishments. I mean, I understand. I started a new job and whew, that's all I can say. I can't tell y'all where I work right now because I'll be the most hated person in the DMV.
Right.
I'm just saying that. Whew. What song puts you in a good mood no matter what?
There's a few of them. I would say just about any Anderson .Paak song.
It's energy. I can understand. It's definitely
one of my favorite
energy.
artists. So any Anderson .Paak song, the even though I love the original version of what is the name of the title of the song? The Earth, Wind and Fire song. Can't find love, but I bet you that's not the title. I can't think of the name of it.
I can't think of it. I know what you're talking about. I'm not going to showcase
they got a
my
remix with Lucky Day. that song, Friends.
I'm a fan of Lucky Day. A new fan though. I'm
I
a
am
new
too.
fan. I just got into his music, but it is some of his songs are just very soothing.
Yeah.
Um, so to jump back, um, to
Young
jump
I Love. That's the name of it.
to jump back, when it comes to performances, what has been or your favorite place to perform so far?
Uh, that's easy. Fillmore. Performed at the Fillmore Silver Spring. And this was probably, it's been a minute. It's probably been about, since 2022. It's probably about 5 years ago. But the whole experience, having a dressing room, just like, yeah, this is what it's going to be when I reach that level. Like coming out on stage, smoke machines, and we played with a live band. So it just was like, that's everything that I envisioned as an artist. Because, excuse me, ultimately, that's what I want to do. I don't want to just go out there. I want to have a live band. And, maybe that's the
It
DMV
changes
in
the
me.
it changes the feel.
So yeah, definitely the Fillmore.
Um, I know that sidetracked. Sorry.
No, you good.
If you could go on tour right now, who would you want to be on tour with?
Like somebody like personally that I know, or like an artist that's already
Both.
both.
You could build your own tour.
If I could build my own tour, if I could, I, I probably would take. It'd be quite a few people that I know personally. Big T Beats, Tito Style, Rock Diesel, Biasis. I definitely would take with me. Dirk Holden, um, LG. Um, I'm on missing people, so I don't want to keep naming. I don't want to make nobody feel some type of way. I love y'all. Um, that's already in the game. Definitely Scarface. That's my goal to get Scarface featured before he completely. He said he retired, but I don't believe it. I need that feature face mod. So Scarface, Anderson Paak, Nas, um, who else? See, mine's gonna be a little different. I love Jaheim. Um, I need a Tony Braxton on the tour. I need an MJB. So mine gonna have all types of artists on it.
But that would be an amazing show. You can have not only different genres of music, you also have man, that lineup would be crazy.
Definitely Ari Lennox. My brother said Ari Lennox. Yeah.
That lineup would definitely be crazy. Um, I'm sorry, I keep getting so sidetracked.
No, that's good. It
It's
happens
so
to me
much
all the time.
going on in my
It
mind.
happens to me all the time.
So as far as any upcoming performances, do you have any upcoming performances or things that?
Solo wise, I don't have nothing in concrete, but my band Choice Band Reloaded, we're at Bar 210 on MEA Highway in Browns Road every Friday.
St. Brian's Road.
Yeah.
Start having flashbacks. I can't even get myself to get to Fort Washington.
And my live band South of the Trade, unfiltered, unplugged and unfiltered, we're gonna be at the Martinis June 4th in White Plains.
Okay. If you could tell your younger self when you very first started a message, what would be the message?
A message.
Yeah, if you could talk to your younger self and go back in time, what would the message be from there? What would you tell your younger self?
Stay consistent. Always trust your gut. And depending on how younger you're talking about, I definitely would say I would have listened to more of what my wife asked me to do. I definitely would have did that. I think that's about it. Everything's a life experience.
Absolutely agree. Um, so I literally ask a lot of local artists or even local business owners when they come on the show, is what is one thing that you think you could do individually to help the youth right here in the DMV, especially when it comes to the gun violence and how it has escalated tremendously. Um, what is one thing that we could try to do as a collective to help to try and reach them to understand this is not a route that they have to go down?
Um, I definitely would say it would definitely have to be something that we would have to sit down and talk to them with, because a lot of times we don't even know what's on the youth mind. We just assume and we just prejudge a lot of the time. And I get it. I prejudge sometimes myself too. But as a whole, I think we have to sit down and figure out what they want to do and what's bothering them and why they even are the way they, the way they carry themselves. Because it be certain times for certain uh, for the youth, like they have certain things going on in their household that some people might not even understand. Some of us went through it. Some of us might not even understand. Even the ones that might have both parents in the household. Some parents can be present without being present. But like I got a cousin. I call him Boots on the Ground. His name Kenneth Clark. He actually on his live now. He just asked me like 2 weeks ago. Said he wanted to do something, basically what you're saying, to come together as a collective and help with the youth, the gun violence and stuff. So that's something that's definitely that's on my plate that I'm trying to do in the near future.
It's absolutely something like we talk about it a lot of trying to figure out, just where to start because for someone who has worked with kids, I did that for 10 years, and I think the pandemic kind of played into it where it was just so much downtime for them where
Right.
they didn't really have a lot of things to do. And then you had your rec centers were closed. Anything that children could have did constructively, it was closed for the pandemic. And so those numbers just skyrocketed. And um, I feel like society, a lot of times, especially when it comes to troubled youth at school, they throw the blame back and forth between teachers and parents. And nobody is really listening to what their needs are.
They're not coming up with a resolution. They're just playing the blame game.
So that is something that I said that before this year is out, I definitely want to try and have some type of program or something. But it's trying to figure out how to reach them because a lot of them they don't even want to stop and listen.
Nah, they don't.
So it's trying to figure out what can grab their attention that would make them, at least sit still and be present for that type of presentation. Um, I do want you to let all the people know how to reach you. Any upcoming events, you can give out your performance where the band plays again, and we always wrap up our show with words of wisdom. And so I'll let you do all that. Well, thank you for joining me today.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Once again, I am Mr. Get Right to Get Left. Um, my album, South of the Tray Into My Experience, is available on all streaming platforms right now. And I have hard copies if you still got a CD player or if you just want to have the CD, you can follow me on Instagram at underscore Mr. Get Right or Get Left, spelled all the way out. Also follow underscore South of the Tray. The Tray is spelled TR3. That's on Instagram also. And June 4th, Martini, South of the Tray, Unplugged and Unfiltered. Each and every Friday, Bar 210, 6971, Indian Head Highway, Browns Road, Maryland. That's Choice Band Reloaded. Each and every Friday. Come on, holler at us Friday.
Yes, so we, of course, in Fearless absence, she did. If y'all did not see her words of wisdom for the week, she's already posted it on her page. This week, I would definitely have to say, please make sure that y'all are setting aside a time for self-care, self-love, investing in yourself before investing into others. You cannot pour from an empty well. So I will be putting all the tags and links and the episode details on all the streaming platforms so that y'all can get in touch with Mr. Get Right or Get Left and you can hear the music. If you have not gone to go listen to this, y'all go listen, please. It's a different feel for the DMV. We really appreciate you coming on our platform. It was such a pleasure to meet you.
I appreciate y'all.
Um, for all of our regular viewers and everyone who tunes in and support, we thank you. We thank you for tuning in every week. Now, I didn't want to do this announcement without Fearless, but this will be our last show on Next Level Radio. We will be going to a new studio. Y'all will see us in a new place next week. We've been here for a year. It was such great to be a part of this platform. We thank you for the opportunity, but we are moving on. We will still be live at the same time, so we will see y'all next Sunday at 6 p.m. Thank y'all for tuning
I'm part of y'all history. Last
in. Situated and set up at our new